be back. How was it?
What?
Where you went? Where were you?
We can only thank God that we are alive, and we'll pick it up from here.
Yeah. The vacation hope was was overwhelming. I can only assume.
Yeah.
Well, just now, just going to go straight into our first segment. We are supposed to do Morning Boost, but not today. We are going to go straight into Health Corner, where we have Dr. Nkonde to explain to us pertinent issues pertaining to health matters, as usual.
Indeed, Patrick. Like we promised, we are going to be filming right in the gym where the activity is happening, and therefore we are just resizing, but we'll be back next month. This is just like 3-4 days from now.
Yes, as we promised.
As we promised. We never break our promises. Let's look at this Health Corner.
Good morning, viewers. I'm Dr. Nkonde Jesse from the Medical Women Association of Zambia, and I'm here to discuss issues concerning oral health. The theme for this year's Zambia Dental Association is Be Proud of Your Mouth. And this is an important theme in regards to psychosocial comportment as well as mental health. So being proud of your mouth means being able to function, to eat properly, to smile, to be able to be in good oral health. That is, to be able to integrate your oral health to your overall health. Because having a low self-esteem as a result of dental caries or poor breath or bad breath can have a negative impact on our mental health as well as our social interaction. Therefore, it's important that we are proud of our mouth and take the responsibility that we check our oral health and visit our dentist regularly, so that if there is any recommendation, if there is anything that is unusual that we have observed in our mouth, can be taken care of and advised adequately. So some of the consequences of late presentation is that there is advanced disease, from simple condition to complicated conditions, which become very expensive for institutions as well as individuals to manage, as it might require more examination and more diagnosis to arrive at what the condition is. Therefore, it's important that individuals and as well as healthcare providers be able to encourage and put an emphasis on early presentation and as well as early management of oral conditions, which can range from dental caries to oral malignancies as well as gum diseases. So it's important also to note that late management of oral condition has a negative impact on the well-being of an individual, as it might predispose them to a lot of stress and a lot of emotional turmoils, which might affect their overall health, and that is a negative impact of poor oral health. Thank you so much for today, and see you tomorrow.
Well, there you have it. Those other doctors are always friendly, never ever disappoint us to bring us information relating to various illnesses in the health department. And we are glad to bring you these segments daily. Remember, we always remind you that this segment rather is also available for sponsorship, and you too can suggest some of the things that you want the doctors to talk about. It is your segment. This whole breakfast show is your show, and therefore you need to send us those text messages or even just call us to say, okay, next week probably we want the doctors to focus on this topic. You know, if you notice that there's something that is happening, there's an outbreak in your community that is happening, you can also call us, and then we'll avail the information to the doctors, and maybe they can offer you one or two advise on those related illnesses. For now, though, let's look at how the kwacha rather, is faring with other major convertibles. The United States dollars is buying at 16 kwacha 97 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 13 ngwe. The euro is at 18 kwacha 89 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 26 ngwe. The Great British Pound is at 20 kwacha 73 ngwe and selling at 21 kwacha 13 ngwe, while the South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 06 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 08 ngwe. Those are your money markets. They are different and they vary from one bureau or one financial institution to another. This too is up for advertisement.
Yeah, exactly. You can make sure that you partner with us in terms of marketing your business. This is quite an important segment where you get to understand how the currency is performing, and everyone else would want to understand how it is performing, because it also plays a vital role in terms of understanding our purchasing power of our kwacha, and as well as the US dollar and other convertibles, the euro, the pound. So we need to just get in touch with our marketing department and ensure that we can sell our business using that segment. Quite interesting, Sharon.
Indeed, Patrick. But before we go any further, let's just look at this story. And when we return, we'll bring in our guest in the studio and we continue talking about various issues. Today, we're talking to Concerned Citizens for Justice, and an NGO that we've covered for quite a very long time. They've brought various interesting issues relating to gender-based violence, and we are going to delve into that conversation for about 20-25 minutes to see how best we can champion this cause of ending inequalities as well as gender-based violence related cases. So Isaac, let's look at the story for the Neighborhood Watch in Woodlands. It's also relating to something like GBV, because one of the people was found, one of the persons was found dead, and other people have been attacked. So really we are not sure whether it's gender related or people are just being followed simply because they are passing through that locality. So let's look at the story. When we return, we'll be talking to Concerned Citizens for Justice.
The Woodlands Extension Neighborhood Watch have Tuesday 28th June 2022 started clearing up a piece of land in the area after a dead body of an unidentified man was found at the said piece of land. The community members say the piece of land has become prone to criminal activities. This is why they decided, with help from the councillor, to contract Lusaka City Council to clear up the place in a bid to reduce such activities. Speaking with Camnet TV, community members are elated by the move by the Neighborhood Watch, as this will curb the dumping of waste and bodies in the area. And Neighborhood Watch chairman Njoya Tembo says as a neighborhood they do not want history to repeat itself, therefore decided to clear up the area to make it safe for the community, especially at night, as criminals hide in the bushes.
Woodland Extension, we have always been concerned with safety and security, and that is one of the objectives of our association. So we have engaged the Lusaka City Council, and monies were put together. We had to say we don't want a repeat of what we saw last week, where a dead body of an unidentified man was found in the area, because that person does not come from this area. It was very disturbing, and we take steps, at least 7 steps ahead of every situation we find ourselves in.
Meanwhile, Area Ward Councillor Clement Milonga says the council is looking into the matter and has plans of constructing a recreational facility on the said piece of land.
Even turning this place again into a place where they feel this is a place where they can come and commit adultery, fornicating in this same place. Others are attacking people just right here, attacking them just right here because it's a bush. So we feel that we need to clear this place completely, and because of course we have prospects of trying to use this place, turning it into a football pitch with flag lights so that people can come and play from here. and community must be happy at the end of the day.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, this is the Breakfast Show. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. On the other side is Patrick Soko. Like I stated before we looked at that story on set, we are joined by Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights. This is an NGO based in Kanyama, among other parts of the country. Their call is to champion human rights, and they are on set with us to discuss various issues relating to that topic. And here on set, we are joined by Mr. Richard Nkua, who is the director at the institution, as well as Jennifer Piri, who is the project officer. Gentlemen and lady, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Is it your first time? Yes. This is what we do.
And there's a gender balance, and
there's a gender balance, and I'm very excited about it. Yes. You did it deliberately, or what?
No. The Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights, we have got about 89% of ladies.
Okay.
It's an organization which is being spearheaded by women. Yeah. In fact, when we talk about men, I think we are just about 10.
Yes.
10
Out of?
Yeah.
Out of how many?
Out of 138 workers.
Wow.
We are
It's a big organization.
It's a big organization.
Yeah.
Tell us about the rate of gender-based violence. How many cases have you reported this far? This is the first, the first 6 months of the year.
Wow, thank you so much. From January to date, we have recorded about 486 cases just in Lusaka. Then we combine them together, that is 1,426. That is in 6 provinces: Lusaka, Central, Southern, Eastern, and also Western, and Muchinga.
So these are cases that are reported at your institution?
Yes, these are the cases that are reported in our office.
Just tell us a little bit more. What sort of cases, in terms of the nature of cases, do you receive related to GBV?
Thank you so much. Number one, emotional gender-based violence, physical gender-based violence, economical gender-based violence, also domestic gender-based violence. Those are the cases that are reported before our office.
Jen, would you like to comment?
Also sexual gender-based violence. Yeah, those are the cases that are reported before our office. Yeah. And also defilement cases.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the cases that are reported to us. When they are reported to us, also we work in partnership with the government. That is police department, and also other institutions such as Ministry of Education, where also they forward their cases to us, so that we take it up from there.
Jennifer, as the project manager there, what is your responsibility, and what projects are you implementing as an organization to help mitigate these issues, especially in compounds?
Okay, so most of the times we have gatherings with the communities. We teach them about the things that they're supposed to know about gender-based violence, and then we come in the part where if everyone, we involve everyone, we want to involve our community. So we have workshops, we have a lot of things that we are putting in place in order for us to reach out to everyone in the community.
What sort of workshops are those?
Okay.
Do you follow them in their houses, or do you bring them together at your office, or what sort of arrangement is that?
Okay, so like next month we'll be having a gathering. So we invite the minister who will be with us. We teach them about gender-based violence. Yeah, that's what we do.
Mr. Nkua, what do you make of the abolishment of the Minister of Gender? How are you finding it easy, especially you as stakeholders who work in this sector, to coordinate with various government institutions to steer the gender agenda?
Thank you so much. When we started, it was very, when they abolished the ministry, it was very challenging for us to cope up. Then thereafter, when we were oriented and we were told what steps we are supposed to do, to be honestly speaking, we are working well with the Office of the Vice President. We are also working well with the Ministry of Community. Honestly speaking, there is a political will in the issues of fight of gender-based violence and elimination of elimination of early marriages. There is a political will. But when we started, when they immediately abolished the ministry, we felt bad. We felt bad in a sense that the coordination with the government, it was very difficult. Now, after being oriented, honestly speaking, we are working well with the government, because what is happening now, you find that the Minister of Justice also they are coming in, Minister of Community also they are coming in, also the Office of the Vice President. There is a unique way how we are working in the government, honestly speaking, because there is a political will. We are not finding any difficulties to operate as organization. Honestly.
Okay, let's now draw you to specifics. When you say
unique,
yeah,
I love the word unique.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
But on the ground, Mr. Nkua, how effective are these organizations? Because from the written information we have is that we see people finding it easy to run to institutions like yours as opposed to government institutions because probably of the reception and ability to attend to their matters. Are we doing enough to ensure that people are attended to, especially on the part of government institutions?
Well, the reason why people rush to come to our office, we are almost on the ground. We are always on the ground. Just 2 weeks ago, we were in Chibombo where we had a public rally as an organization. Again, 1 week ago, we were in Monze where we had a public rally. The reason why they rush to us because we are with the people. Yeah. We go to Chibombo. When we go to Chibombo, the distance where to find the police is very far. You find that to find a police like Chibombo, that is under Katuba constituency, to find a police is that is Westwood. It's about 45 kilometers. From there, it's about 60 kilometers going to Momba, and that is Nangoma or Eza Momba. So the reason why these people they are rushing is because most of the government institutions in the rural areas like police, there are distances. Coming here in the urban areas, the reason why these communities they are rushing to our offices. Number one, we have got programs that helps the communities. There is counseling. We have got qualified counselors, the ones that we train ourselves that are affiliated with Zambia Counseling Council. Then also, we have got that interaction every now and then. We have got programs that we are doing door to door with the community to sensitize. So as a result of that, they come before our office, and then also we refer them to the police to say, no, this is the right institution that where you are supposed to report the cases. That's what we are doing as a community. We are on the ground. So
now we continue to see, for instance, child marriages continue to escalate, and that has remained a challenge in the country. Most of the times, as a nation, we focus on rural areas. But if you come to think about it, even in peri-urban areas like Kanyama, Chawama, these cases are also high. And a recent survey that was done by should be World Vision, it also indicated that about 29% of girls are still affected with child marriages. And that's according to the recent deliberations. We understand that in the past it was worse at 42% as of 2015. Now, we want to get your perspective regarding how can we practically combat child marriages, not just while focusing on rural areas, even in the community where you are operating from, Mr. Nkua.
Thank you so much. As concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights, we are not just targeting rural areas. Our programs, we are targeting even urban areas. For example, Kanyama, Chawama, Matero, that is Georgia. So the programs that we have put in place, these programs, or either the government, the policy that they have put in place, number one, we need the sexual education to the communities. Number two, We need also economic opportunities to the communities. Number 3, we need equality to every Zambian, more especially Zambian women. What is contributing to this high number of gender-based early marriages? Number 1 is the divorces. They have contributed greatly to this issue.
What is the connection, Mr. Nko?
The connection is, if I divorce my wife today, I've got 7 children, then I go and marry, or either I go and remarry, or either the woman, she goes and remarry. You find that the children, they become vulnerable. As men, we are lacking responsibility, the guidance to our own children. As a result of that, the high number of early marriages, because there is no parental care, there is no parental responsibilities. No one is guiding those children. There is negligence on the part of us men. When you go to Kanyama, you find that the high number of women, this time, they are dancing in the bars.
At 7:30?
Yes, they are dancing in the bars.
Nice. I want to see that view.
Yeah, they are dancing in the bars. In a sense that back home there, children, they have got no one to take care of them. No one is taking care of them. That's the reason why most of the people, they are taking advantage of defiling those young girls, because women, they are not being responsible for their own children. So as an organization, we have come up with programs of women rehabilitation in Kanyama, where we have brought together women to educate them, so that we can reduce the high number of women that are taking what? Alcohol in the communities. That's what we are doing as an organization. That's what we are doing. Although it's very challenging, I can confess it's very challenging just to convince a woman to stop taking alcohol at this stage. When you go to the bar right now, Sharon, you find that the high number of women, the women, the higher number than the men taking alcohol. So as a result, you find that these women, where are they getting money to feed their children? When you ask them, you find that divorce. Why is it that you are doing this? Divorce. Why are you doing this? Divorce. Why is it that you guys, you are always mingling around, you can't do any, you can't even sell either fritters, whatever, even tomatoes? No, I was divorced. There is no response. So here, when we are here, at least men, they can give you 5 kwacha or whatever. So that's where the challenge is. So divorces also, they have contributed.
As a woman.
As a woman, yeah.
Your perspective
you
on
agreed
that.
so much to what he was saying. You were like,
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
I'm working with people, then I've seen the number of women that are there being divorced. You know, someone's 60, someone's drunk, and then she has a baby on her back. Then you ask them, what's the problem? What's going on? No, my man is not responsible. We married this. So you find that most children that come that side are vulnerable. And
What do
we have taken the case where there are some women or young girls that we have retrieved from those early marriages, and then we're taking them back to school.
okay.
Yes, and then we empower them, tell them what is it that they can do. We give them money, start businesses.
What do you think? I'm sorry, but I'm trying to sway away from this, because you've mentioned the issue of divorce, and what do you think is causing these divorces in communities? Because I think it's a broader picture that connects the issue of women being in bars, men being irresponsible, divorce, child marriage. It's a huge triangle that needs to be sorted out.
Exactly.
With the root cause being divorce, like you have mentioned. So what causes that, so that family building can be strengthened?
Number 1 is economic opportunities. The cause of high number of divorces in the country is economic opportunities. In short, it's poverty. Okay, it's because of poverty. You find that Some of the people, they want to live a life that they cannot afford. Some of the people, they are failing to have 3 meals in a day. As a result of that, you find that women, they will start misbehaving, or other men also, they will start misbehaving. As a result, they'll end up in divorcing. So as a country, what we need to do, number 1, is to come up with a law, more especially on the issues of customary law. Because the customary law does not protect much part of women or part of men, these marriages. You find that when you go to court, they'll break up because there are no proper regulations. On that one, that is the area where we are appealing to the government that they should come up with regulations that will protect what? Women. Number 2 is the customary, the customary tradition and customs. Also, they have contributed to the issues of divorces. So we need to come up with the policies that can help us as a nation so that we can reduce the divorces. Also, we need to come up with the guidance as a nation so that you find that in a year, we have lesser number of new marriages, but we are going to have higher number of divorces. As a result, we are putting the life of our own children at risk.
Okay. So, Mr. Nkoa, you've talked about government's political will in ensuring that these whole all issues of GBV, what and related issues are worked on, regardless of not having the ministry responsible for gender. You also talked about the distances that are covered for people, especially those in rural areas, to report these cases. I'm wondering what sort of political will this is. If at all they cannot look at these issues that are happening in communities, especially those in rural areas. Here we have a police within probably 700 meters. We have a police. In Kanyama, for example, where you operate, we have Los Angeles Police Post. After that, we have Kanyama Police Station. You see, so we have, at least they are a little bit dotted. But then when you talk about, is it 60 Ks from somebody's home to a police, that's too much.
Yeah.
What kind of political will is that?
Thank you so much. Let me just give an example when we say political will. Yes, we have got distances. What used to happen, Concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights, we started operating here in Zambia in 2011. Whenever the chance of communicating to the communities the way we are doing it right now. This time around, we have been given a platform that we can do as we can do our programs as organization to educate our communities without any difficulties. Mostly, when we are having meetings, you find that other government departments, they'll be in our midst to listen to the information that we want to share with the communities. And the MP, they'll be there. Unlike the way we used to do before, where the area MP is not there, or any elected councillor. But this time around, you find that just making a call, without even writing a letter, you find that the area MP will be there, will be with you. For example, Kanyama, the area MP, whenever you invite him, just calling him, he will say, no problem, I'll be there. And you are going to share the information together. Katuba, same. Nangoma, it will be the same. Mazabuka, Monze, it will be the same. Now, coming to the issue of distances of police, I think it's 10 months. I think that we cannot say no, they did not build a police post in, that is Chibombo, that is Stumbeko. Let me just specifically say Stumbeko. That is the center place where those people, they can, it's just 10 months. And let me just use this opportunity to the government to say they need to put up a police as soon as possible, because like Chibombo right now, as I talk to you, Shalom, we have got 11 children that we are supposed to retrieve from early marriages. that is between 13 years to 14 years, 11 of them, we need to retrieve them from early marriages, and we find something that we are supposed to do. The only thing that we are waiting right now is to put our house in order. We buy what is required, then we go there. By next week, we are supposed to be in Chibombo to go and retrieve those children.
An interesting aspect, Mr. Nkua, we also talk about the shelters. Yes. For the same victims, because you may retrieve them, and take them where?
Take them
and
where?
sometimes they may not even be accommodated by the families. Now, how do you assist them? Because we saw the aspect of the shelters that come about. It's mostly also spearheaded by the NGOs,
yes.
And on the part of the government itself, they haven't been that proactive to ensure that they provide that shelter to the victims.
Thank you so much. It's something that we are in discussion with the Minister of Communities, the issues of our shelters. Yes, it's a challenge. We agree that that is a challenge. That is the challenge that we are facing as an organization, or also that is the challenge that we are facing with as a government. Why are we saying so? Even the shelters that we have that are being run by the organizations, the NGOs, also they are not enough. When we retrieve them, it's not that we just keep quiet as an organization, no. There are those we feel that they are at risk. We do communicate with the Minister of Community so that they are taken somewhere where they can find shelter. That's what we are doing as an organization. Apart from that, we have taken up a step. Some of these early marriages, it's not that those children, they want to get into marriages. No, it's because of restrictions. It's something that we need also to appeal to the parents, more especially uncles, aunties. You find that these children, they are forced into marriages. You find someone will get married to their relative, who is uncle. She will get impregnated by the what? By the uncle, maybe by the grandpa, all those things. So what we are appealing to these communities is that they need to report them to the police. Then also we have taken a step of counseling them to sit with them, importance to say there is a free education. If the parents, they are failing to buy books or whatever, we are there. Those are the things that are draining us. We are there. When we retrieve them, it's not that we are just keeping quiet. We put everything that is needed to that child, then we send that child back to the school. And the good part of it, there is a political will. What used to happen last time is that when you want to send those children back to the school, you are going to find a lot of difficulties. Just to enroll. Hey, no, we need such. But this time around, once you say, no, we have just retrieved this girl from early marriages, please, we want this child to be in class. Automatically, the headmaster will say, thank you so much. Oh, bring him. That's what is happening, because it's a free education. You don't have any challenge.
Now, Mr. Nkua, there's also the aspect of the president was categorical. He has also demonstrated that he has political will towards combating this vice, in that he also indicated during one of these addresses that when you are found wanting as a perpetrator, you also equally be punished as a family for allowing the child to get married early and everything. As an organization, how are you following through that pronouncement from the head of state, and what would be your appeal to institutions mandated to ensure that this is followed to the latter?
Okay, before I comment, the challenge is there, so is that number one, it's the law. The laws that we have right now, they are not adequate to address what the president announced. Why? Because the age limit, as I've already said, the customary and traditions, also they are contributing. Okay? You find that when you take the girl child who is 14 to the police, they will say we need under 5. We need birth certificates. Okay? For us to proceed with this matter. You can even see that this child is 14, this child is 13, but they will demand for those things. As a result, the matter will go nowhere. So, what we are appealing to the president further is that they need to come up with a law that will help a girl child. That is a very good announcement. We are finding it difficult. Even if you take the matter to the police, we even apprehend, you surrender. We have come with this particular person. He has impregnated the what? A 13-year girl. They'll come up with their own excuses of saying, no, under 5 is needed, birth certificate. Now, you find that it's a rural area, a remote area. But you can see that this is, the parents, they are confessing, this child is what? 13 years. The matter of going nowhere. We'll just end there at the police. So, we are appealing to the institutions that is mandated to do that. Any parent who is found wanting, they need to go in for it, because that is presidential directive. And also, this thing, it has to start with hospitals, because most of these girl children, they are taken to the hospitals. When they are taken to the hospitals, that's where they will discover to say, oh, she's pregnant. The issue should not just end there from the nurse. No, the nurse and other stakeholders within there, they need to report the matter to the police. They advise the parents to say this matter must be reported to the police. Because I tell you, if we don't do that, we are going to have a high number of maternal deaths. If we don't do that, there are a lot of risks in a girl child. So in order to save the life of a girl child, the process of the law must be followed. Like what is happening at UTH? We are actors organization. What is happening at UTH? You cannot just surrender a girl child to say, no, here's the girl child. No, we have brought her to antenatal, what. Automatically, when the doctor says that this is a teenager, they will call in the police. Please, we need the husband of this particular person. Automatically, that particular person will be apprehended just there. So that is what we want in every government hospitals to be done. Because if we don't do that, we are not going to combat early marriages. We are not going to combat the issues of development. That's what we need to do.
Before we let you go, Mr. Nkua, first of all, I want also to understand, when you mentioned that you're also in Chawama, where are your offices in Chawama and other areas? Because us, we usually frequent the famous Kanyama and
Blue House.
Would also want other...
We don't have an office in Chawama, but we have got programs that learn in Chawama.
Okay.
Even in George.
Okay.
The programs that are learning here in Lusaka is not only in Kanyama. No. The programs, we do conduct meetings in different communities within Lusaka. Even in Kafue, we do conduct those meetings. So, specifically here in Lusaka, we are in Kanyama, and also we are in Kafue.
But is there hope that we will manage to combat child marriage before we let you go?
We are there.
And before you just speak that, let me just add, how are you working with traditional leaders in ensuring that this development is not escalated further? I know Chief Chamuka of Central Province is very keen on that, and Chief Matima of Eastern Province is also very keen on the fight against early child marriage. How are you working with these traditional leaders?
I can tell you that, more especially in Southern Province, we have got Chief Mwenda, we have got Chief Mana Chingwala, we have got Chief Angelica, and Central Province we have got Chief Munguri, and also Chief Liteta.
Yeah.
Honest, Chief Shakumbira. I can tell you that these chiefs, they are very helpful. They have even instructed their own village admin to say, whenever we are having meetings, you find that when we are having meetings, we have 60 admins, village admins, and their subjects. Honestly speaking, we are working well. The relationship is well coordinated with the village admins and traditional leaders. We are doing fine. And this time around, it's not only traditional leaders. Whenever we are doing our meetings, community leaders such as councillors and also area MPs like in Southern Province, Central Province, even here in Lusaka, honestly speaking, the relationship is well. We can't complain.
Jane Piri, as we wind up, how is your program for coordinating these programs in your community going? Are people willing to come on board? And if I know you've mentioned that this organization is mostly categorized by women. But then in the communities, when you go out there to talk to the people, do we see men coming on board to listen and learn something? Please.
Yeah.
I want her to respond.
Oh.
She's the
Okay, I love the part that we are having. The relationship is strong as in the community. And then the part where we are conducting our gathering together, we teach them. Men, the attendance is not that much compared to women. So I like the fact that women have come out to take the role. Say, if I don't have a man, I'm able to do this. Even without a man, they are able. So okay, I want to be educated. There are a lot of things that women want to do.
Mr. Kowa, do you want to comment?
Yeah, in all these programs that we are taking, now we are doing this project that we are running now, elimination of gender-based violence against women and children. Honestly, the response is well. We are there, so we can assure the nation that by 2023, there will be a reduction of 70%. More especially if we can receive support from the government, other international organizations, because we are appealing to them that we should partner. We are there. We are very much positive that we are there who will eliminate the early marriages and gender-based violence.
I know you've made your plea to the government, maybe to the parents, as we conclude this interview.
We are also appealing to the parents to say, parents, let's be responsible for our own children. Those are future leaders. In fact, not future leaders, they are our present leaders. To say, let's support them. If we don't support them, if we don't protect them, we don't defend them, tomorrow we are not going to have female journalists, we are not going to have female nurses, we are not going to have female doctors. Meaning, we are going to shut our nation to zero. So let's support our girl child. They need to go back to school. Let's advise them what is proper, what is healthy for the community, for the girl child.
One last thing though, I forgot, but gender is not only about women.
Yes.
How many cases do you receive for men?
Wow.
Do they come?
Yes,
through?
the response now is good. They are reporting. Yeah, they are reporting. Just last month. This month?
This month.
This month we had about 30 people have